Hello everyone, I'm Emily Powers, and in this video I'm going to be painting a Aurora Borealis, or the Northern Lights. So it's going to be with acrylic paint, and I'll show step by step what I do so that you can paint with me if you want. And all the supplies that I'm using are in the description. There's also links in the description where you can buy some of those supplies, and a percentage of your purchase helps support my channel. Also, I have the links to the brush guides where you can get the brushes, and you can get 5% off if you use the code EmilyArt. And I also have my Etsy shop in there. So I am going to just go ahead and start. This is my number 12 Bright. It's a Princeton Summit brush, and it's about a 1-inch brush. And I'm just going to go ahead and do my first layer. I'm not going to draw anything. I think I'm just going to use paint to draw it. And I'm just going to start by taking some Ultramarine Blue and some Phthalo Blue. I'm going to get some of this color. This is Aqua Green. It's an artist Loft color, so you don't have to have it, but I think you can mix something similar with Phthalo Green, which is this green here, and white with maybe just a little bit of this cadmium yellow medium, but you probably don't even need the yellow for it to be close. So that's a pretty good color, I think. I'll just see. I want it a little lighter. I'm going to get some more of this green. And I'll get some white. Make that color lighter. I'll get some more ultramarine blue. And I think that's pretty good, so I'll just put some of this color in here. And probably the hardest part of this painting would be the actual aurora, the light green color in the sky, but I think we can do it. I'm going to get some Phthalo Blue now, and a little bit of Phthalo Green, making here a little darker. I'm just going to kind of like blend these two colors together. And you can add some water if it's not really flowing off your brush onto the canvas well. Some water might help with that. This is just the first coat, so we're going to go back, but we're going to take some of this Aqua Green now, and I'm just going to start putting some of that in. Just put it thicker over here. And it doesn't have to look just like the picture either. It can be a little different, but I do want it pretty close. I can just take a little bit of white with my light green. Alright, and I'm getting my dark colors again, these two blues and some Phthalo Green. It's going to start getting more like green in here, like a dark green. I'm getting more of that phthalo green here. And then I'll get some of this aqua again. And I'll get some of my cadmium yellow, so it'll kind of make it a little brighter, and get some white, and use that right in here. And just blend that in. Some more yellow if I want. I can wipe my brush off once I put some paint down, and then I can go back and blend, because sometimes if you have like a whole lot of paint, it will just make it all go together and it won't look good. So sometimes you have to wipe your brush off. Getting some green down here, phthalo green, making it darker. And some ultramarine blue with my phthalo green. I really like these colors, they're really pretty. I'm going to get some phthalo blue and phthalo green. And some of my Mars black. This is to darken the colors down here in these crevices. I'm just going to put some dark all down here. You can take a little bit of my white for this section. It's kind of lighter than the rest. It doesn't have to be perfect. I can add some phthalo blue and some white. And do like a dark area in here. And I'll add some white on this side so that I can see like where it changes from the sky to the ground. I'm going to add some ultramarine blue and put it in here. And let's put that back there. All right. So that's actually, I think, a really good base for this painting, because you can already see that it looks similar to the picture. Like that's already, you can already tell that this is the picture that we're painting from, so that's good. So I'm rinsing this brush out. Everything needs to dry whenever I go to put paint down again. So like if I want to do the sky needs to be completely dry, because if it's not and you try painting an extra layer, it can lift the layer you just did and make it look funky right there in that spot. So you want to make sure that it doesn't do that. So I'm just going to rinse my brush out and put it off to the side and let that dry, and then when it is, then I can come back and do the next step. Alright, so I think that we can work on our sky now. I'm going to use something called gloss glazing liquid. It's from Golden. It's a slow drying extender, so it's, from what I understand, it's kind of sort of like paint without the like color in it, but it also helps the paint to not dry so fast, because acrylics dry really fast. So it helps it not to dry so fast that you can have a little bit more time blending the colors together. So I'm going to use that because I think it can help when I'm blending these colors. You don't have to use it. You know, that's an optional thing, but if you have it, well then this might be a good time to use it. I'm going to just get out more paint real quick because I don't want to run low on these colors while I'm trying to blend and then them dry before I get back to them. So I think this is a pretty fun project. I really like these greens and blues. I'm going to take some of this green and add it to whatever this was. And I'm going to get some ultramarine blue. I'm doing basically the same thing over again. I'm just trying to get that color that I had. Some whites. And since I'm already running out of this aqua color, I'm going to put more out. I'm going to add some of this glazing liquid. You don't want to add way too much or else it'll make your paint like thin because it's clear. So if you added like more of this than paint, then it'll like make your paint clear. So you don't want it to be that much, but you do want a little bit. Just trying to get the right color before I start. And like I said, it doesn't have to be the exact color either, but I want it to be a color I'll be happy with when it's over. So just make it a little darker, like that. Just put that on. I can take some ultramarine blue and put it straight on. Make a little bit of it. Have some of that color. And then I'm going to get my blue and some green. And I'm going to do over here a little bit more like a turquoise color. This way. Alright. So after I put some down, I'll grab my aqua color and just put some of that in, blend it. I'm going to pick some up and put it off to the side so I can get some glazing liquid with it. And I'm just going to go through and blend that in. I can put some of another blue on one side and right. I can get just a little bit of white with that color. Make it a little lighter right in here. Might want to make it a little bit lighter and just blend it out if we can. And if it's not exactly in the right spot as it is in the picture, that's really fine, because it doesn't, like I said, it doesn't have to be exactly the same. It'll still look like Northern Lights. Alright, and then I'm going to get this color down here. I'm going to add some of my glazing liquid to it. Okay, and I'm going to get some yellow with this, and alright. So I'm going to get these two colors and just blend some of that in there. It's going to be pretty dark green color down in here. Pretty dark, and get some like ultramarine blue to put in there, and then I can take some of my lighter color and just put a little bit. I'm going to get a lot of white and maybe some yellow, and Okay. I'm going to put a little bit back here, and it's okay if we cover the mountain some. That's fine. I think I'm just going to do some like that, and there we go. Just going to do that for the moment. Alright, so I'm going to rinse that out of my brush. So I think it looks pretty good. I mean, you could go back and blend it more, probably make it look even more realistic, but I think that I like it. I'm afraid that if I do another layer, I might make it worse. So I think I'm just going to leave it like that, except for a few small areas I'll go back and do later. And then there's also some stars that I want to put in, but it's pretty good. So just rinse that out, put that off to the side. I'm going to take, this is a 3/8 inch angular shader. It's Princeton Velvetouch. And I'm going to dip it in the water. And first I want to see these mountains that are kind of farther in the back. I want to put them in because some of them are kind of solid. Put that in here. Just put it in solid, and then I'm just going to kind of put back in this, I'll get some of the darker color. Put back in some of these mountains that are kind of in the front, and put that back. All right. So I'm going to take some black, and there's like a hill here that's kind of dark, and there's a few places over here that are kind of dark too. I'm just going to put those in. And this, I'm going to be just kind of like an impressionist style. I'm not going to like worry too much about like making it realistic. I mean, I don't know, it might end up coming out that way sometimes. You don't want it to, and it does. Comes out more real than you wanted, but I'm just gonna not be super careful about like where I am putting these different colors. I'm just going to kind of put them where I think I see them, and then at the end it should look good. I'm going to take a little bit of black and streak some black up in these mountains. And then I'm going to rinse that out a little and get my white with, I'm just going to add it over here. It's kind of like a green with some blue maybe. And just going to just kind of brush over, leave some like patches of the dark. Just kind of use my brush to draw the shapes. And do some lighter underneath the dark that I did. I'm going to do some dark coming up. I'm just going to brush over some of this down here and let the canvas kind of pick some up. Just do like that. And I can take some Ultramarine Blue and add some of that in a few spots. The Ultramarine Blue is kind of more like a purple blue, and the Phthalo Blue is kind of more like a green blue. So if I want it to be a little bit more like a purple kind of color, then I can add some of the ultramarine, and if I want it to be like more of a green blue, I can add Phthalo Blue. And if you're just starting painting, you might think, I can't see the difference, it just looks like blue to me. But after you have been painting for a while, you can start seeing the difference in the colors. I'm just going to put some white down here. I'm going to start adding some lighter color. I'll add a little bit of phthalo or ultramarine blue to it. Alright, and if I am going really fast and like you're having a hard time keeping up, then you can always rewind and watch it again. It's the nice thing about it being on a video is you can go back as much as you want. Alright, and I'm just going to put some more of this black in here. Just did a black line above that I did earlier. Alright, rinse that out. And it seems like our sky is dry now, but I'm still just going to keep working on this front now. I tend to get like a bead of paint with these canvas panels on the side, so I can just take my finger and wipe them off. Alright. I'm going to try to start adding my lighter color. So I'm going to get my white and put that at the top. It starts pretty light, and then as it gets down, I can start kind of doing the same thing I did with this lighter color here. Just kind of brush over a little bit, but still let some of the other color show. I'm going to get some of this green color and put in some lighter colors. This is white. I need to put some white here. I'm going to get some more white with this ultramarine. I'm going to get some Phthalo Blue and Phthalo Green to put on the top of this mountain. Just put a little bit. And some black. Some lines back there. All right. I'm going to take some white with this and just put a little bit in front. That. Take some of this color. I'm just constantly adding layers. So if one layer doesn't make it look complete. Then I add another layer and just keep adding layers until it's good. I can add some of this green that I used for the lights up here. And I can use like the side of my brush to put in some light color. And take some of my green and a little bit of Ultramarine Blue. Alright, it's getting better. Let's put a little bit more white up here. All right. I think that it's getting there. Some of this darker green and put some in the front. Some white. And put it in the front. Okay, here, do some lighter color. And I'm just going to I'm going to rinse my brush out real good, and I'm going to do some of that glazing medium so it'll be clear. And then I'll get a little bit of Ultramarine Blue. So it'll make like a really light, like clear Ultramarine Blue. And I'm going to brush this over a few spots. It's best if this is dry, so you might not want to do it right away. Whatever color you want to change it to, you just add that to your glazing liquid, and you can add just a little bit. All right, I think that's pretty good. So I'm going to rinse that out. And now I think I want to do my stars. So I'm just going to, first I need to clear a spot for my paint. So I'm going to spray this with some water. You can also use the spray bottle to keep your paint wet while you're painting. And this is a glass palette, so I can just take off the paint. You can use other things as palettes too, though, like plates, like styrofoam plate or something like that. And I'm just going to put down a little bit of white for this, and I'm going to use a toothbrush. So I've got a toothbrush specifically for painting, and you could also use a fan brush. I think there was another video I did with stars. I used a fan brush. That's a little bit different technique, but I'm just going to take some white and water it down. Get lots of water. And I don't want it pure white. I'm going to take some of this color, this that we used for the lights. I ended up getting some yellow with it. But that's okay. I got some Phthalo Green. I'll get some Ultramarine Blue. And I'm just going to add white to this. And you can kind of test if it's the right consistency by spraying. I'm just taking my thumb and pulling down across these bristles, but I have to point down. If I point like across, it'll do like these streaks. So it'll look more like rain. But if I point down, I can get little dots. So I think that's pretty good. So I'll take this color and I'll just spray just a little bit. And if you have too much paint, you might end up getting like a big blob of paint. So you might want to tap it on your paper towel so that that doesn't happen. But alright, I'm going to get some of this lighter color, or darker color I mean. And I want these stars to be pretty small. I don't want them to be very big. You can make yours big if you want, but I want mine to be like pretty tiny. If I get one that I don't like I don't really like that being so big, I can take my rag and some water and just wipe it off like that. Put some down here. I can just tap off if any gets on my horizon down here where I don't want. And rub any off of this ground because there's not going to be stars on the ground. Alright. Alright, so we're going to do that, and then put this off to the side. And what I want to do is I want to make this look a little bit more yellow than I have it. So I'm going to take some of my gloss glazing liquid. And it doesn't have to be the gloss either. I think there's like a matte glazing liquid too. I'm going to take some of the yellow and just glaze over this with yellow. And it'll make that area more yellow than I had it before. Alright, I think that's pretty good. So I'm going to rinse that out of my brush. And I think that's pretty good. I could, like I said, you could work more on the sky or the ground, either one, and add more detail or blend it better, make it look more realistic, anything like that. But I think that that's good. So I'm going to sign it. This is my Faber-Castell Pit Artist pen. I like it just because I can sign and I don't have to make the paint real thin and use a small brush. I don't like using the paint to sign, but if that's all you have, that's good. Since I have the pen, I like using that. But there we go. There's the Northern Lights. So I hope you enjoyed this video. I think it was really fun. This is actually the last painting in this month. So I will put up on the screen the schedule that I have. Well, the schedule that was for this month actually first. So that's all the paintings or the pictures that I painted this month. That's not the actual painting, that's just the pictures I painted from. So we did all those. They're on my channel now, so if you hit Emily Powers Art right below the video, it'll take you to my channel and you can watch those videos. And this is the new schedule that I have for August. So I'm kind of sort of giving myself a little bit of a break in that I am making like all of the tutorials easier so that they won't take as long, and that way I can kind of give myself a break. That way y'all still get a video and I don't have as much work to do. So that's what we're going to be doing next month. So I hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, please give it a like and subscribe. Like I said, all the supplies I'm using are in the description, and the link to the brush guys and my Etsy shop are down there too. So if you I hope you'll be able to paint it, and hopefully you enjoyed doing that, and thanks for watching.